Germany is looking for its Eurovision 2016 star, and they will choose him or her or them on Thursday, February 25th, during the final of Unser Lied für Stockholm. You guys, it is time to go around and name our top three. Misha, why don't you kick us off?
Okay, my third favorite is Avantasia with Mystery of a Blood Red Rose. It's a decent rock entry, and I think it's not that memorable. It's a little bit repetitive for me, and I don't see that mystery in the song, but it is still a decent rock song, and I kind of like it, and it is above all the other 7 songs.
I'm sorry, this is Bon Jovi. What's his name? John
Bon Jovi.
There you go. Wannabe. This just sounds really fake and inauthentic to me, and also 2 decades late. Blood Red Rose, that implies passion and drama, but I'm just not getting it.
Yeah, that's my problem with it.
It's very meatloafy.
Yes.
And it's been a long time since he was on the go, so yeah, it's not on my top 3.
Porg, who is in your top 3?
If it's for good or bad reasons, but it's enough for me to choose it, is Gregorian with Masters of Chant. Now the thing is, this is a very kind of new age, Celtic, monastic kind of sound, and it could easily have sat in Eurovision 1996 along with Emer Quinn and The Voice and Elizabeth
Andreas and
Evigat, but I don't know if it works now. Like, it definitely stands out and it's got an instant impact and it's very atmospheric, but at Eurovision, and it would seem, I don't know, very weird, especially when there's only 6 of them allowed on stage, and I don't know if it would have the same effect, but it definitely stands out in this selection.
I struggled to come up with a number 3 because there are only 2 songs I can actually deal with, but my number 3 by default is Endlich with Adrenalin. She is poetic. She says, "Will ich dich immer lieben?" I will always love you, and I will always love you, because this is, I don't know, it's dramatic, it's soothing, it's danceable. I like when people take country, guitar songs and then kind of give it an upbeat modern production. And I know this isn't country, but it has that kind of folksy vibe. Like, if you stripped back all the electronic, it would be a folk song in my mind. I really like it. I think she's got a good voice. It's a bit repetitive. I think they need more of this, and I think they need a better bridge, but she can work on that, and perhaps with a live performance, elevate and give me that adrenaline rush I am craving.
Yeah, the song is called Adrenalin, but I don't feel any adrenaline in it.
Yeah, I love the way you say she's updating country when it's pure dated Schlager.
No, listen. What I am trying to say is, if you strip back all the Schlager, electro, dance elements, like the production, you would have what could be a very beautiful Taylor Swift song. Maybe I'm being too imaginative here, and this is making no sense, but I really like the song. In any event, it's time for our number 2, Misha.
My number 2 is Joco with Full Moon. I really like the sound of the song. It's captivating from the very beginning with this piano entry. I really like how it goes on, and you're listening to it like some kind of maybe fairy tale, but it keeps your attention and somehow elevates throughout the song.
There's something about the piano here which I like. It adds this mysterious, dramatic vibe, because oftentimes at Eurovision, piano songs can be a little you know, woman screeching while someone plays a piano about her pain, blah, blah, blah. But this avoids that, and it just sounds very enticing and kind of inviting.
Yeah, that's I really love the piano in here, because I used to play the piano, and I really enjoy the sound of it. So that's my number 2.
Well, I have nothing nice to say, so I'm going to move on to my number 2, and that is Woods of Birnam with Lift Me Up from the Underground. And it's my number 2. It's a long way off from my number 1, I just want to add. But it's upbeat, and it's bright, and it's fun, and it's sunny, and it's got an apt title. It does lift me up from the mediocrity of this selection. But it's very British, it's very Brit-poppy kind of in a way. The band, you wouldn't think it was a German band. But at the same time, at Eurovision for the last few years, we've kind of used Britpop to describe bands like Anti-Social Media, which we haven't been particularly fond of. So I think at Eurovision it would get lost, and it wouldn't improve hugely on what Anne-Sophie did last year in Vienna. But in this selection, it is one of the better ones.
My number 2 is Luxuslärm with Solange, Liebe in mir wohnt, As Long as Love Lives in Me. I think this is fantastic. You know, she is a poet. She says things like, Ich fühl ein Meer mit meinen Tränen. I feel a sea with my tears. Oh baby, you got me crying. There is drama here. This is just, it's breezy and light and yet deep at the same time. She kind of takes a nostalgic feel but makes it very modern, because oftentimes nostalgic songs are depressing and boring and like, oh, slip my wrist, but this doesn't do that to me. I think this is fantastic. This is one of my 2 favorites. I think it's way head and shoulders above everything else in this contest, except for my number 1.
For me, this song is as good as your German video. I don't know, I don't feel it. I don't even remember how it goes, so nothing much to add.
Well, thank you for that. Time for our number 1, our favorites in Germany, Misha.
Well, my favorite, which is Porex number 3, it's Gregorian, Masters of Chant. It's really different from all that we have here, and I love this sound, especially when the lady comes in and doing this mystical vocalization parts. It's really something for Lord of the Rings, some this fantasy world, I should say, and I think it can really stand out in Stockholm, and maybe even do top 10.
Yeah, for me, this is basically, unless things go horribly wrong on Thursday, it's an internal selection for Jamie Lee Kriewitz and Ghost. There's just no comparison to any of the other songs. It's just so high up above the rest of them. She has such haunting vocals. The song, the lyrics are a lot deeper than the rest of the field, and yeah, she's won the Voice of Germany, so she has that live experience. She's well able to compete in competitions. She obviously is popular with the public, and it's 100% televote. The song already has over 1 million streams on Spotify. It's got 3 million views on YouTube. I can't see anyone else passing her out. The only problem is that, I don't see it as a problem, but I see it maybe as a possible risk, is that she's quite similar to Madeleine Juno, who entered in 2014. And she was a big star, she had a big hit in Germany, but the Germans said, no, we'll send Eliza instead. So that's my only worry. But yeah, as if I was the German broadcaster, I'd just have selected her internally and been done with it.
It's a really good point. This is hugely popular among our readers. It's currently winning our poll in a landslide, and yet I find it absolutely boring. She's a fantastic vocalist. She is a proper star. I just don't think this song showcases her talent, and I don't think this song is right for Eurovision. It's just a little boring. It's like we've heard it before. It's forgettable. Among 25 songs, this is not gonna stand out. And I hate to say that because you are right. She has a proper talent with star wattage, major star wattage. But maybe Germans will be like, we know her already. We've already crowned her the voice winner. Let's give someone else a chance. Kind of that Aleza effect, that Anne-Sophie effect. They like to push newbies up. So in any event, she is not my number one. My number one is Gregorian with Masters of Chant. This starts out so Star Wars. Like, I almost expect in the first 20 seconds, like, ships to start flying and shooting laser beams. It's futuristic. I know Gregorian chant is kind of a very historic, centuries-old form of music, and yet the song to me sounds 2050. I'm talking the year 3000, next millennium. You know, it's just very anthemic as well. Masters of chant, brothers in arms. Let's stand up against terror. You know, there is something very kind of inspirational here. And also choral music is very trendy. Like in the UK, there are all these TV shows where people form choirs, or like the Military Wives Choir, and it's all over the BBC right now. Yeah, and when the woman comes in, because it's all dudes, right? And then this lady comes in, and she's like this ghost, this like corpse that comes alive, and it's mystical and magical. I really like it. I'm not into this kind of music at all. But I think this would stand out in, where we go in Stockholm. And also, final point, it reminds me of the choral opening of Eurovision 2013, but this is way better. This has that quality where it can be the theme for a major event. I think this, after the show, will go to #1 on iTunes. People will be playing it at the World Cup or some football match. And you know, it's gonna have another life regardless of what happens at Eurovision. Or sorry, Unser Lied here at Stockholm. That's what we think. What do you think? Who are your tops for Germany's national selection? You can let us know here on our YouTube channel, wiwibloggs.
And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe.
And make sure you hit the like button.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.